All right, let's get right into it. Did you know that inside your body, right this second, there's this massive, secret remodeling job going on? It's true. Trillions of your cells are constantly changing, listening, and responding to every little signal you send them. This whole process is called cellular adaptation, and honestly, it's the key to understanding how your body not only survives, but thrives, or, on the flip side, really struggles.
So, here's a question for you. What could a weightlifter, a smoker, and a brand new mom possibly have in common? I know, it sounds like the setup for a really weird joke, right? But seriously, there is something that connects these three very different people on a deep biological level.
And the answer? It's all in their cells. Every single one of them is in a state of adaptation, actively responding to totally unique demands. Whether it's building up muscle, fighting off nasty toxins, or preparing for a new life, their bodies are all putting on a masterclass in how to change. So let's open up the body's playbook and see how these changes actually work.
Okay, first chapter in the playbook, getting bigger. When a part of your body needs to grow, it basically has two main strategies it can use. And believe me, the difference between these two is super important.
The first strategy is called hypertrophy. Just think hyper for more and trophy like a prize for growth. Now with hypertrophy, the number of cells doesn't change at all. Instead, each individual cell just gets bigger. It packs in more stuff, more proteins, more machinery. The perfect example, a weightlifter's biceps. They don't get more muscle cells, the ones they have just get huge. It's the same thing with the breast cells of a pregnant woman. They swell up to get ready for lactation. It's all about increasing size.
So what's the other way to get bigger? Well, that's hyperplasia. In this case, the tissue grows because the body decides it needs more boots on the ground. It literally makes more cells. So the individual cells all stay the same size, there are just a whole lot more of them. A great example of this is breast development during puberty. That growth is all about an increase in the number of cells.
So let's just make sure we've got this straight. Hypertrophy means bigger cells, hyperplasia means more cells. Simple, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. Sometimes the body actually does both at the same time. You see this with something like benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. In that condition, the prostate gland gets larger because its cells are both getting bigger and they're multiplying.
But of course, adaptation isn't always about growth. Our bodies can also shrink tissues down in response to the environment. This is where that old saying, use it or lose it, becomes literally true at a cellular level. This shrinking process is called atrophy, and sometimes it's a totally normal, healthy thing, like how the uterus shrinks back down to its normal size after a woman gives birth. But it can also happen because of inaction. If you stop using your muscles, your body, being super efficient, decides to conserve energy by shrinking them down. That right there is muscle atrophy.
Now check out this example, because it brings these concepts together in such a powerful way. Just picture someone who uses a wheelchair to get around, maybe because of paralysis in their legs.
This quote just says it all perfectly. That person's upper body, their arms, their chest, their shoulders, is probably incredibly well developed from moving the chair all day. That's hypertrophy. Those cells have gotten bigger from all that work. Meanwhile, the muscles in their legs, which aren't being used, have gotten smaller. That's atrophy. It's the body adapting with incredible precision, part by part, to exactly what's being asked of it.
All right, on to our last and honestly probably the most fascinating kind of adaptation. Sometimes the body's response isn't about size or number at all. Sometimes it changes the actual identity of the cells themselves. It's an amazing defense mechanism, but it's a risky one. The stakes are really high.
This transformation is called metaplasia. It happens when your cells are facing some kind of threat, a constant irritation or a toxin that they just weren't designed to handle. So in this wild act of self-preservation, the body literally substitutes them with a totally different, tougher type of cell that can take the punishment. The textbook example of this happens in a smoker's airway. Let's walk through it. It all starts with the stimulus, inhaling smoke. See, your airways are normally lined with these fragile, pillar-shaped cells that are great at moving mucus, but they are absolutely terrible at dealing with a constant cloud of toxic smoke. So the body does something drastic. It tears out those specialized cells and replaces them with flat, tough, layered cells, squamous cells, that are way more durable. It's a pretty smart fix for the short term, but the long-term risk is massive. These replacement cells aren't as stable, and they have a much, much higher chance of becoming cancerous. This is the direct cellular path from smoking to lung cancer.
So, okay, we've seen cells get bigger, get smaller, and even completely change who they are. What's the big takeaway for you?
Well, it's that cellular adaptation isn't just some abstract biology lecture. It's not something that just happens to you. It's really a conversation. Your everyday choices, your habits, those are the messages you're sending. And your cells, they are listening 24/7, and they are responding. You are, quite literally, the architect of your own internal remodel.
So how do you send the right messages? Well, you exercise your body. You lift things to tell your muscles to grow through healthy hypertrophy. You challenge your brain. You learn new things because that use it or lose it principle applies up there too. And you protect your lungs. You stop sending those toxic signals that trigger that dangerous metaplasia we talked about.
So when it all comes down to it, here's the bottom line. Your cells are listening, always. With every single choice you make, you are giving them instructions. The only real question left is, what are you telling them to do?